All right, so last year the Los Angeles Clippers experienced a frightening plane ride as they were traveling to play the Denver Nuggets, where lightning struck their plane and they lost altitude.
Whew.
Sticks,
Sheesh.
what are your thoughts on this now? This happened in February, and we're just now hearing about it. February
And it,
2022, that is. And we're just
whoa,
now
whoa,
hearing
whoa, whoa,
about
whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa. I thought this was just last month.
No, sir. This was
This
last
was
year.
last year?
Let me make sure. I believe this was last year.
Huh?
Yeah.
No way, bro.
Let me make sure.
Nah, because NBA Central talked about it on March 15, 2023. So this was just last month.
Mm,
Bones Hyland's a rookie. He wasn't on the team last year.
okay. Well, I apologize.
All good, all
It
good,
was
all good.
last year.
So
Last month.
last month. So whenever that was my thing. And I think whenever you sent me this topic, I was like, well, why are we just hearing about this now? It's almost a month later. But I had to put because I've flown a lot in my life. You know, I had an athletic career at one point. You know, it ain't that same way now, but I've had an athletic career at one point. And I had to put myself in them shoes. And I was thinking about it, I was like, damn, that's unfortunate. They literally almost lost their life. Like it lost, according to the report, it lost significant altitude. And it dropped in altitude several times from getting struck. Yeah, facts. And I know turbulence is already scary enough whenever the plane get to shaking, but whenever you drop
in your stomach,
what, bro? What? Whenever you on a plane and that joint drop crazy, bro, that's a crazy feel. I might something like this. I might fuck around, shit on myself. But
and you hear go ahead, finish.
No, you hear what? You hear what? You hear what you say?
You don't hear the planes. Damn, why can't you think
Engine?
of the propeller engine
propellers,
going?
yeah, right.
Yeah, you don't hear that going, and you just losing out. Ooh. Listen, bro, I might not ever get on a plane again if that happens.
What? Ain't never doing it. But I had to think back because I asked myself, how often does this happen? Because the planes are so high in the air, and you know, there's a thunderstorm literally happens every day. It just doesn't hit the surface. So I had to ask myself, how often does this happen? So I looked it up, and there's a company called Mainblades. It's an aircraft tech company out of the Netherlands. And they're saying planes being struck by lightning is a fairly common occurrence. So at some point in my life, I've flown a plane that not flown one, but rode in a plane that has been struck by lightning possibly. It just wasn't to the magnitude of the Clippers plane dropping in altitude the way it did a couple of times. But it says on average, every commercial aircraft is struck by lightning once or twice a year. At any given moment, there can be as many as 1,800 thunderstorms happening simultaneously. That averages out to 40 to 100 lightning strikes every second worldwide. So being struck by lightning is more likely than hitting the lottery. But at the same time, it's like
in a plane, that is.
And on a plane at the same time. In a plane.
Yeah.
So that joint is crazy. And it also said, according to the International Air Transportation Association, an aircraft is struck by lightning every 1,000 flight hours, which is equivalent to one strike per aircraft per year. So every aircraft is getting struck by lightning. It just wasn't to this magnitude. It's just not to this magnitude that the Clippers plane, their private plane at that, got struck. Yeah. So I was like, bruh.
Yeah, so that's news to me, honestly. That planes get frequently struck by lightning, because you typically, and I don't know if this is like from movies or TV shows, cartoons, or whatever, but you typically think that planes fly above the clouds if they can.
Typically,
possible, right?
If they can, possible.
Like they fly above storms because thunderstorms are usually low. So that's news to me.
Right. But you gotta think of like you know like those if you ever had one of those like electricity lamps where you touch it and the electricity goes to your hands.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Like the electricity goes in the air that goes above. It's going to magnetate to something that has energy. So it's like your fingers on that globe. It's the same thing. They're going to get struck. Like the electricity is going to come to the plane, but it's going to be just like your hand. Like it's not going to hurt you, but it's going to touch the, you know what I'm saying? So the same concept.
Still crazy to think about. And the frequency of not just the Los Angeles Clippers plane being struck, but just planes in general. I'm now debating on if
one
that's
strike
crazy.
per aircraft per year.
That's
per
crazy.
aircraft. You know how many aircrafts it is in the world? They get struck
Right.
at least once a year, at
Right.
least.
Right. And so when I first read this story, my first response, obviously, I had the dates wrong. I thought it was last year, but even still, even if it isn't last year and it was in February, why are we just now hearing
Why are
and
we
reading
just now
about
hearing
this
about
4
this?
days ago? That's almost 3 weeks that we heard about it. And to me, it says a lot about the Los Angeles Clippers players that they didn't, and to my knowledge, they weren't on Twitter or anywhere else talking about, man, we almost died. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's like, I just can't imagine everybody on that plane, whether they, even if you sleep and you feel a little bit of turbulence, that wakes you up. So I can't
Facts.
imagine being on a plane, get ready to be, or being on a plane, being a professional athlete, get ready to go play a team or traveling to go play a team, and then the plane gets struck by lightning, the engines go dead, we lose in altitude. Do you
That's
know
got to be
how
a
your stomach
crazy
is
feeling,
feeling?
bro. That's got
Oh
to be a
my god.
crazy feeling, G.
Man,
It's
I
crazy.
don't, I honestly don't think. Listen, okay, because they fly during the season almost every day, especially on the road trips. So you gonna have to, we gonna have to bus, bro. You're gonna get me a luxurious bus. I'm gonna be John Madden from here on out.
They're gonna be John Matt. So you gonna bus from LA to Brooklyn when they gotta play the Nets?
Hey, I mean, listen, we better leave. We better leave well in advance, not take any stops. Cause
Listen,
I do not think if I ever experience something like that, because
facts.
I'm pretty cool with planes right now. I mean, I've been through turbulence and stuff like that, so I know what that feels like. But
Yeah,
I don't think, me personally, if I felt anything like an
like what they felt.
altitude drop and felt like I was going to die in a plane, I don't think I would ever get on a plane again.
I'm
I
the
just
same.
wouldn't be traveling.
I'm just like you. I'm just like you. If I
Yeah,
felt what they felt, because Bones Hyland said, "Not gonna lie, we thought it was over with."
yeah,
Like if I felt, if I'm on a plane and I say something, I have to say something like that. I'm thinking something like that. That I'm thinking is
yeah.
over with.
That's
I'm not getting on the plane no more.
nah.
I'm
You
not getting
can
on the plane
cancel
no
it for
more.
me.
Ain't
Just
no
give
out
me.
of country, trips. I ain't visiting nowhere. I'm not a tourist no more. If it ain't in driving distance, which for me now, shoot, Washington, I done drove from North Carolina to Washington. Anywhere is driving distance for me at this point. Anywhere in the nation is driving distance for me at this point.
Yeah,
I will drive, dog. I'm not
I
getting on
don't.
no flight no more if I felt something like that, dog. No way.
I don't think I'd be a professional athlete anymore.
It's gonna take your career.
If
That's a
they saying they
day.
have to fly, and I'm like, nah. After what we just
I'll meet
went
y'all
through,
there.
yeah. If you can't accommodate my request, then
I
I
gotta
put
go.
my resignation in from the NBA.
I'm retired. That nigga D-Lo gonna retire. D-Lo gonna
Nah,
retire.
bro. Y'all got it. We got struck by lightning, and I thought I saw my life flash before my eyes.
I'm
That's
gonna
it.
tell Coach, hey, where we going next game? Oh, we going to
Yeah,
Indiana? I'll meet y'all there.
yeah, yeah.
I got the car. I'll meet y'all there.
Or or I'm gonna pull a Kyrie. I only play my home games.
Facts. 41 games a season, player.
Yeah, you can adjust my contract
I was
to
just about to
meet
say
that,
that.
and that's the right. Hey, we can get
I'm
in the
making 100.
playoffs.
I'm making 100 million. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can give me 50 if you want. Like, you know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
So,
paying
but
half the games. Give me half the pay. Might as well.
it's crazy to hear that though, man. Like
It is,
when I
dog.
read it, I was like, they lost altitude
Altitude.
multiple times, and they thought they was
Multiple
gonna die.
times, bro. That's
Could you
tough.
imagine what the NBA, how the amount of mourning in the NBA, especially, this is another thing that complex, especially with the situation that happened with Kobe in
Yeah,
LA,
bruh.
and then it's another LA team. That, could you imagine
Bruh.
all the
That
type of stuff that would be going on in
oh my
LA?
god. I didn't even think about it in the sense of the Mamba, dog. Cause he just yeah, that's
That
crazy. That's
boy,
crazy to think about.
they would have. Boy, LA would never be the same. I mean,
Never.
obviously people like the Clippers, but they like the Lakers more in LA. But put those two together to lose somebody that's attached, or a team that's attached to LA, and then one of the greatest players of all time to lose his life in an aircraft carrier too. Yeah, I
That's
don't know though.
crazy. But even Ty Lue made a little joke. He was like, our luck was so bad that month, even we got struck by lightning. Because they were on a 5-game losing streak at that time, right before the All-Star break, and then the
Yeah.
lightning strikes. Like, bro,
Yeah.
what? Like
Yeah.
Ty Lue was like, bro, we got so much bad luck. We even get struck by lightning, dog. That shit's crazy. But they ended up picking it up ever since. I think here recently they went on like a 4 or 5-game win streak.
Yeah.
And they got Russell Westbrook, which is I guess a pretty good addition off the bench for him now. So they've been hooping. They've been hooping. If they could just get if Kawhi can just stay healthy and PG go crazy, they'd be all right. They're gonna be straight. But
Yeah.
I'm glad. Thank God, dog, that this plane didn't actually lose enough altitude to crash, because that would have been crazy, bro. That would have been some, like D'Lo said, that would have been some mourning. That would have been some smoke in the city if that thing would have went down like that, dog. That's crazy.
100%. Yeah. I have nothing else to say about that.
Nothing else.
Damn. Thanks for watching the video. If you made it this far, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. You can also find us on all of your major streaming platforms, wherever you find your podcast.